Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Living Yosh. I have a very fun and exciting guest. This guest, ever since I spoke to him the first time, I've been picturing what we're going to talk about because there's so much. I'm so lucky today to have Jonathan Geffner, who is obviously you can see by who's sitting right next to him. He's a ventriloquist. He's someone my kids are so excited about me talking to. Jonathan has been putting smiles on people's faces for years and years. And I'm so lucky today I get to hear about his upcoming movie, Dummy Detective. It's a murder mystery. It has suspense. It has comedy. It has everything that you'd want to see in a very joyous movie. Jonathan, thank you so much for being here. If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, and please take your time because I'm just going to sit
Oh,
back
sure.
and listen, smile, and laugh. And please.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thanks for inviting me here. It's really nice to be able to talk to you and your audience and friends out there. So, first off, a bit of good news. My movie is not upcoming anymore. It has come, it has arrived.
Oh my God, wow.
It is, it has been released. And so people can go and enjoy it on various channels. So go to the dummydetectivemovie.com around the world. Facts, which is one of those channels which is not as widely known or used. Plex is available in 30 countries. So almost anywhere you are in the world listening to my voice right now, you can watch my movie for free on Plex. You don't have to subscribe to it. You don't have to pay.
God.
You can watch it. Enjoy.
Amazing. Wow. Okay. So you have no excuse. You can't say I'm overpaying or I'm not. I have to pay. Just go in and watch it. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I didn't even know about Plex. So that's really cool. Very cool. Jonathan, and I'm sure you got this question a lot. What were you like as a kid?
Well, it's hard for me to be objective about myself, right? I guess you'd have to ask anyone who still remembers me from back then. But I could say, I think, just accurately, I was a very sensitive, very quiet, shy kid in general. I was talented in a number of things, but I was also very, I guess, not outgoing. I'm, more introvert, but I've remained that. I'm an introvert to this day. I mean, I have a side to me which is outgoing. Hopefully, when I'm performing, of course, and when I'm talking to people I know and like, I can be outgoing. But my general personality is definitely introverted.
So, because I picture, and I guess it kind of makes sense when you think of someone who became a ventriloquist, it's almost like
You say dummies.
they use the dummies to kind of start letting themselves out to have a voice because they are a little shy as a kid. Is
Yeah.
that pretty common?
Yeah, it is. That's certainly the case for me. That is a way when I discovered ventriloquism and puppetry, especially the ventriloquist aspect of it, it became a method, a means for me to express things, to be able to, uh, uh, it's like a psychological thing to a therapy as well, self therapy, but like an exorcism of sorts of deep rooted things. So it can get pretty heavy when you analyze it psychologically, but the manifestation is fun, hopefully, because that's the goal to
Yeah.
bring fun to other people, make them, laugh and enjoy things. So, but I think the great allure and attraction for me was it's a way that I can be outgoing, even though I'm not by nature.
So is there has to be a story behind your first dummy? I mean, was it like a gift as a kid, or um, did you? And when you got it, did you just start talking to everyone with the dummy? To be a little more outgoing. I got to hear about it.
I actually became a ventriloquist when I was a young adult. I was not as a child, so I haven't done this since childhood. I've done a number of things, many things in my life, and leading up to that, my main thing was I was a pianist. I was a serious pianist kind of off and on from the kid to early adulthood, and toyed with the idea of trying to be a concert pianist professionally. I got a master's degree in piano from Manhattan School
Wow.
of Music. And that was after having stopped playing the piano for a few years before that too. It's kind of crazy how I'd given up on that. And during that time, before I got the master's degree, I became a Yiddish scholar. And so I speak Yiddish
Oh my
fluent.
God.
And I teach Yiddish and I translate it professionally too from time to time. But I've taught Yiddish all through the years, even when I became a ventriloquist. At the age of 32, I actually became a ventriloquist. But even in all these intervening years, I've taught Yiddish classes on the side, both adults and kids. here and there and have been hired to do some Yiddish translating. So that's been something that's been very important to me. And also before I became a ventriloquist, so I mentioned the piano as being a serious interest, sort of off and on, but I also became interested and involved in improvisational theater and comedy. And I worked with a group called Chicago City Limits, an improv comedy troupe based in New York, despite the name Chicago City Limits, because they were formed over there, the group, and came over here. And so I trained with them and then I performed with them as a pianist for some of their shows, accompanying their shows. But I really didn't want to be a pianist for it. I wanted to be on the stage doing improv comedy. So I did that with some other pickup groups, little groups around town, improv comedy. But then that was shortly before I became a ventriloquist. But that was all great background. The fact that I had taught Yiddish also, I don't think I mentioned that I was the director of several small supplementary Yiddish schools, Yiddish specifically, not
I
Hebrew.
can't, but that's awesome.
I speak Hebrew fairly well. Yiddish, is my specialty. So, between the Yiddish, the teaching and teaching piano and doing improv comedy, it all served as a great background to set me up to become a ventriloquist when I got inspired when I saw a pre-performer ventriloquist one day and just was mesmerized and very excited, like an epiphany moment, like that's what I have to do. So I went about learning it obsessively, and within a few months, I was doing it professionally. And then within a year, it became my main career.
Oh my God, it happened that quick. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, back to the Yiddish. Who can't learn Yiddish? But it's not very popular to say I teach Yiddish. I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I come from a very secular background. My parents were not religious, not observant, but they did have a Yiddish identity, Yiddish connection. They both spoke Yiddish fairly well, but they didn't speak it at home. They did speak it a bit with my grandmother. That's my mother's mother, the other only grandparent I really knew. Although she died when I was 10, so I didn't have a
Sorry.
lot of time with her. But in those I have a lot of early memories of her, very fond memories of her. Felt very close to that grandmother, and she spoke Yiddish as her native language. She grew up in Poland, as so many Jews of that generation did. Immigrated when she was young, and so her first language was Yiddish. She did speak it. My parents spoke it a bit with her. So I heard it, but I didn't really teach me. But I picked up a little. Then I think it was my grandmother who inspired me. After she passed, a few years after that, like I was in high school and I was going through all kinds of adolescent turmoil, as is very typical with adolescence.
Yeah.
And, I barely graduated from high school, almost dropped out because of all kinds of, you know, uh, emotional, stuff I was going through. Uh, One thing that I did latch onto that I became passionate about, and during that time, was Yiddish. I started to think about reminisce about my grandmother and missed her, and thought about how Yiddish was her language. I felt like, I wanna learn Yiddish too. I mean, for real, not just a little bit that I had picked up. So I signed up for a course at Columbia University. They had a summer program, that was connected with YIVO Institute, the Yiddish research, intensive summer program. This is what the year right before I graduated, or was it the year I graduated? I think it was right before, like senior year. I'm not sure, but anyway, I was still in high school and took this summer program, intensive Yiddish, and that was the beginning. Because after that, I just kept studying it. I went to Queens College, barely got into Queens College because also because of all this emotional turmoil I was in, I almost didn't make it into any college. But they had a kind of open enrollment. They had just started right then. Luckily for me, because I squeezed in because of that, and then I discovered Yiddish by coincidence. I didn't even know. I was so oblivious to the world that I just, I got in. I don't know what I want to study or anything like that. Almost flunked out of college the first year. But then I saw, oh, they have a Yiddish program. I could actually get a degree in Yiddish. So despite this depression that I was in for quite a while, that's the one thing that began to excite me, that took me out of my kind of doldrums, and decided, oh yeah, this is something I can get into. So I started taking Yiddish courses, became a Yiddish major. Then, so all my grades, like the first year was all Fs, and that's why I almost flunked out. But
I
then
know the feeling.
Yeah, it went from Fs to As because I was interested, and then on the side, I also minored in music. I got back to playing the piano after giving that up for a few years. So between that, the minor in music, but the major and my degree is in Yiddish language and literature from Queens College. That was the
I think it's really cool that if you always have a piece of your grandmother with you with the Yiddish. I
Mhm.
mean, whenever you could, I mean, I know me personally, there's things that I looked up to my grandparents that I do the same thing that they did because I want to always have a part of them with me. And it gives me a lot of strength.
Yes. Yeah, she was a major influence, in those first few years, uh, that I was able to know her, and if not for her, I don't think I would have, had this, longing, urge to learn Yiddish for real, not just this sort of dabbling that a lot of Jews do. Well, I mean, a lot of Jews have no interest in it anymore, but there are some Jews who have a little interest, and they learn a few words or so,
Yeah.
and then there's a small number, I became one of them, who decide they wanna learn for real, really learn Yiddish.
What did you want to be when you were a kid? What did you want to be when you grew up? I mean, did it had anything to do with movies and, comedy?
Well, I loved, the Paul Winchell, Jerry Mahoney show on TV when I was a kid. He was a ventriloquist, very famous in his day in the season '60s. He had several permutations, iterations of a TV show. The Paul Winchell, Jerry Mahoney Hour, I think it was called, was the most famous one for a few years. So when I was a kid, I remember watching, and I loved that. I loved the whole idea of ventriloquism and the character, and Jerry Mahoney was the puppet, Paul Winchell was the ventriloquist, but it didn't specifically inspire me to try to become a ventriloquist. I just remember sort of in retrospect, later on when I decided I wanted to become a ventriloquist, I searched out old videos. In those days, that was pre-internet, so that was the VHS era. So I just got a hold of VHS tapes of different ventriloquists, and Paul Winchell was the one who inspired me the most. Kind of enthusiasm, the kind of excitement, the way he did, kind of New York Jewish humor, because he was also a New York Jew. I had that in common with him too, with Paul Winchell. I mean, well, real name Winchell, is what it's like. Who knows, Winchevsky or whatever the name was, but they changed it to Winchell. So, yeah, that kind of style of humor really appealed to me, and so I sort of modeled myself mostly after Paul Winchell. But as going back to childhood, I didn't really, although it was something that later inspired me. At the time, I didn't think, oh, I'll become a ventriloquist too. I just enjoyed it. But from early age, I was thinking I'll be a professional pianist because I started playing when I was 7, and had talent obviously for it, and so I became excelled early on with that. So I was thinking, yeah, I'll probably become a pianist professionally, then kind of changed my mind off and on. But as far as anything else that inspired me professionally, yeah, sometimes I thought, yeah, maybe I'll be an actor. I watch movies, but it wasn't really a passion of mine. And
Yeah.
acting it has never become a passion of mine. I do enjoy acting. I've done some acting, even aside from ventriloquism, a little bit here and there. But I never really seriously pursued it because that wasn't the thing that I longed for. I have to be an actor. And to this day, it's something that I would enjoy doing if I had an opportunity to do certain roles uh, that I think I could play well. I would enjoy that, but I don't have that, that actor's passion. Like I must act. I'd be happy if I never act again, but if the right role came along, I would enjoy it. Now, I enjoy especially acting as Detective Trillo in these Trillo and Quaid things because that's my creation, that's my
Yeah.
vision and my
Yeah, I love it.
character. Yeah, my alter ego. Well, the puppet's my alter ego, Sam Swade over there. But
They're sleeping.
yeah,
We'll wake them up soon.
yeah, okay, we'll introduce him soon, but that character we mentioned, The Dummy Detective, is my feature film now released, my first feature film, which is a long story. I don't know, maybe part of the story I can tell you right now, another part, maybe there'll be a part 2 because it's
I
a
would love
lot of
that.
lot of things went into eventually getting this feature film made. It was something that was very difficult to find a way to produce it and finally get it out there, like over 30 years in the making. In the interim, or before that, I did produce 2 short films, and I produced a web series that lasted 2 seasons on YouTube. All those can be seen, by the way, for free on my YouTube channel, which is The Dummy
Awesome.
Detective. You go to The Dummy Detective, well, I renamed it recently to help promote the movie, the Dummy Detective YouTube channel, but it has not only things related to this movie, but it has it has thousands of other videos, all kinds of little videos that I
Well, before I bring on the stars of the show, and besides you, were you ever discouraged? Like what am I thinking? Like I can't be a ventriloquist. Or did you ever feel like, like maybe this isn't for me? When did you feel like I can do this? Like I'm good at this. I make people laugh. I make people smile. How long did that take?
well, that wasn't much of a problem or issue for me, fortunately, because I said I was 32 when I became a ventriloquist, and I just went into it like full force, obsessively, and no looking back. And that's a very good thing. It's a fortunate thing that I was so determined that I could do this and confident that I could do it when I just started trying it. I did take 4 lessons with a professional ventriloquist who I looked up and found uh, through a trade paper. Then that was just to get me started. He helped me learn the basic techniques, and then I was on my own. For okay, now I know what I need to practice on my own. And uh, I was I was so inspired about this, so determined that I decided very quickly that no matter what happens, this is what I'm going to do. And so I was
I
set up
love that.
psychologically in a good way. Now, this it's not I don't say this to kind of boast that, oh, I've always had the right attitude about it, because I didn't before this. Up until then, I struggled very much with self-doubts as a pianist, and when I did the improv comedy that I mentioned that I was also very enthusiastic about, but I had lots of, like, insecurities and self-doubts. "Can I really do this? Am I really good enough?" And had a lot of stage fright. So that hard to come by, this kind of better attitude, but somehow when I found ventriloquism, that just felt just right for me, just the perfect medium for me to express, to use my talents. And so somehow I was able to change my mindset to think and feel like, okay, no matter what difficulties come my way, even if I bomb, if I do bad shows, if audiences boo me, if my material's not good, no matter what it is, I won't let it stop me. I'll just keep going and going until I
I
succeed.
love that because I feel like if you really enjoy what you're doing, you need to have some ups and downs, but you're so passionate about it, you just keep on going. I feel like it's a great lesson that you just shared. I think that's how you find out what you really enjoy because no matter how it goes, you keep on going.
Mhm.
You don't
Yeah,
need to give up.
yeah. Somehow that was the right moment in my life that I was able to, and it was the right medium that I found. The ventriloquism just hit right, the whole psychological aspect of using a puppet to express yourself and feeling that I'm not really the star of the show, although I'm not hiding like a regular puppeteer either. I like the fact that I'm out there talking to the audience, interacting with the puppet, and yet I feel a kind of security that the puppet's the real star. So it just fit right exactly with what I needed as far as to feel psychologically comfortable to pursue that particular art form. And because of that, I was able to feel so determined that no matter what happens, I'm going to just keep doing this until I succeed. As I said, it's not an attitude that I had about the other things. I was not able to feel that way about the other things, but somehow it worked with this. It clicked with this.
So I wanna bring on our other guests, but I wanna ask you, is it harder to act with the dummies or without? You're saying before how like, you're not really the star of the show and it kind of makes it where the focus is just on them. But personally, how do you feel? Is it easier to film something as yourself or with the dummies?
The dummy's easier, always easier with them, because I do feel like that's my comfort zone, is when I'm with one of them. That's like in the movie, I have scenes where I'm just by myself with no puppet involved, and I enjoyed doing that because I enjoyed playing that character
Yeah.
of Trillo, the ventriloquist. But I felt that um, it was always easier in the scenes when I have a puppet in my hand.
Okay, so without further ado, let's bring on the stars of the show.
Start off with Sam Swade, who was my partner in the movie and in all my Trillo and Swade ventures, short films, web series that I mentioned. So I'm not dressed for the occasion, but he is. In
Well,
fact,
because he's the star. I mean, you don't wanna overpower him.
even we'll give him even the fedora. Okay, so you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, that's
Please.
Yosh. Wow, this is quite an occasion. I was really looking forward to this. So here we are. Look at that. It's a
Sam,
nice
you look great.
background. Look, you got some wooden partner in the background too. A bunch of them too.
Well, I want him to feel like I'm kind of part of this show also. That I mean, I know you're the famous one, but maybe if I have a cool background, you feel like, this guy really, he could do it also.
I love the sensibilities because we sort of lived in an alternate universe. Probably gathered that already, right? If you watch the movie.
Yeah, neo noir.
Yeah, do they know what that means?
Well, I think a film noir is the 1940s. These detective movies and mysteries, black and white. We did our movie in color.
Because we wanted to update it and take advantage of the color. It looks really cool. But we used a lot of shadows, because it's a very shadowy world in the film noir. So this is neo noir. That's where
Sam,
we are.
Sam, can I ask you, what was the hardest scene for you to film? Or did everything come natural? I'm sure everything came natural to you, but what was the hardest scene?
Hardest thing. Well, they presented different kind of challenges. I think the one, okay, I'll tell you the one that was psychologically a little challenging for me was
There was one. There's one scene that is a little clue. He says, "With a knife." I'll tell you what happens exactly.
Okay.
it was a little disturbing because it was not something I really wanted to do, but my character had to do it, in the plot.
Okay, so there's a kind of violent moment when there's something that he doesn't like to have to be violent, but sometimes we have to be, right? In this case, we had to.
Well, I certainly had to.
And Sam, you did your own stunts?
Absolutely. Nobody
Wow.
could do the stuff that I could do. Certainly
And
not.
Sam, did Jonathan ever get difficult to work with?
He's always difficult to work with. It's kind of a pain in the tush, if you know what I mean.
I feel like he's always telling you what to do. Or is it the
Well,
other way around?
not successfully, of course, because we know who really pulls the strings, right?
Yeah, for sure. So Sam, is there anything that you said you must have in your trailer that as you're like waiting to go on set?
Trailer. What do you think? This is a Hollywood movie? Have a friggin' trailer? We don't have any friggin' trailers there. We just sit in the corner. That's what we did. I sat in the corner of the living room of the location. Something I insisted on having. Well, just I like to have a little nosh sometimes.
Well, yeah, we had noshes. We did had some budget for food. We didn't starve.
Yes, I like to have some kasha knishes.
He loves.
Sam, was it hard to remember your lines?
No, not for me. Sometimes Trillo here got stuck. Sometimes you forgot your lines.
Yeah, I know.
Not too bad. But for me, no, I had no trouble with that.
Sam, who is someone else that you're excited to work with in the movie?
The main stars were all great. Well, everybody was great to work with. It was a good atmosphere with the other actors.
That's right. So Deborah Twist plays the femme fatale.
She was really cool. Really hot too. Wow.
I think you
So,
gotta be careful saying that.
well, I don't think she would mind because we kind of hit it off.
Yeah, we have to mention Sean Young, of course, also. She played Mrs. Hubbard, the innkeeper.
Sean Young, very cool because she's a great actress and famous too.
I don't know, Yosh, if you were familiar with her before, but she was a big star in the 1980s when she was very young. Starting with 1982 Blade Runner.
The original.
Wow.
Yeah, not the remake. They made, I think, two
Oh my God, it's so cool.
You ever see that, Yosh? You ever see
Yeah, I actually did.
So do you remember it? You remember Rachel?
Rachel, the cyborg, it turns out, the young woman, beautiful femme fatale. She was only
I remember it by name, but I don't remember the movie perfectly, but I definitely remember
Really
that
watch
movie.
it. It's a classic. It's a great movie. Really great.
Yeah, really great movie, and that catapulted her to stardom. Dawn Young, I think she was only 22 when they shot that movie. But her career really kind of disappeared for a number of years. She disappeared from the Hollywood scene for a number of years.
Various reasons.
I don't think through fault of her own, though. But whatever. She then disappeared from Hollywood for a number of years. But this is hopefully her comeback. We hope.
She hopes.
We all hope. This will come back.
Jonathan, did you bring in the other actors and actresses? Was that your decision?
Well, we did a casting call.
Yeah, we had professional casting call in the trade papers, and so we took audition videos and tapes, and then narrowed it down to finals where we had the callbacks in person. We auditioned for the roles, for the main roles at least, except for Sean. Now, when we were able to get Sean, we didn't audition her; we just offered her the role.
Yeah, she wasn't about to just audition for her role.
Yeah, not Sean Young. She wasn't going to audition for this tiny budget, micro budget little indie film. But we were just glad that she's willing to do it, that she was eager to do it. And that was because she's a personal friend of Deborah Twist.
She plays Chloe Lake. the femme fatale.
Yeah, that's Deborah Twist. So we cast her first in the role of Chloe Lake. And then I hadn't cast yet Mrs. Hubbard. That role is another major role in the movie. Deborah said to me, "Oh, you didn't cast it yet. I might be able to get Sean Young."
So we said, wow, how you going to do that?
And she said she's a personal friend of Sean Young. So I said, yeah, see if she's interested. She sent her the script. And a few days later, I got a phone call from Sean Young saying, I read the script. I really like it. I'd like to do this movie. So that's how we got Sean Young.
That's awesome. Wow. I guess
Yeah.
it's about who you know, I guess. So I want to ask, since there's a lot of humor, what's the funniest thing that happened while filming the movie?
It was so darn serious on set. I don't know. What do you find funny? I can't think of anything funny. It was very, very intense.
Yeah. The thing is, people would probably think that it's a riot. It was a riot to shoot this because, with the dummies and like you're alluding to, with probably a lot of funny takes and, bad takes. But the thing is that we were under a tremendous pressure to shoot this very fast because of very
Okay.
tight budget.
And that's because, you were out of your pocket.
Yeah, out of my pocket. I self-funded this movie. That's how I eventually got it made. I circumvented this long story to come back to the bottom line, which is that I decided to go ahead and self-fund it. So since it was a very tight budget, we had to shoot it very fast.
11 days total.
That's right.
11 days?
11 days total. That's right, of
Oh
shooting.
my God.
Yeah. So the thing is, I probably other actors, if you ask them, would say that they had a lot of fun, at least at times on the set.
But for Trillo and me, Trillo, AKA you,
That's right. Trillo is me.
Jonathan also.
Okay. So for us, it was not much lighthearted stuff because I was so much under the gun. Like when we did a bad take, it's just like, okay, reset, shoot again. But we didn't have much time to just sit back and laugh and take. I mean, so yeah, it was
Do you
very intense.
enjoy watching yourself after like you do a show or a movie? You're watching and enjoying it, or is it hard for you to watch afterwards?
I enjoy it. Now, sometimes I don't like to just binge watch all the stuff that we did, but once in a while, it's kind of neat to see how it all turned out. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. That's how I feel. Yeah, the thing is with this movie, this took so long to get made and then to get edited, post production. There were all kinds of problems that developed. So it was almost 2 years after we shot it that we finally had it ready to release, and we finally
So
released it.
11 days to make and 2 years to complete. Wow.
Yeah, all kinds of issues, problems for another time, maybe to get into all of that.
Okay.
Budget problems and technical problems and personnel problems, and then the problems of trying to find a distributor for it. But eventually we did release it close to 2 years after we actually shot it. But so the thing is, I was so sick of it, watching the footage over and
I was
over.
gonna say, yeah. So I mean, it's probably hard sometimes to be like, at this point, I don't even want to watch the movie because like it took so much energy, and I'm exhausted.
Yeah, there's still some enjoyment talking for myself. You had some enjoyment, right?
I did. So yeah, after all that, when it was an actual chance to watch it, there was one time we had one screening, only one so far, of a public screening at a film festival, USA Film Festival in Dallas, Texas, a few months ago. And because we didn't do the film festival circuit, I wanted to finally get it released rather than going through that. But there was one that invited us, and so we did that. So it was on, a big screen. We had an audience watching it. So that's the only time that I got to actually watch it with other people, seeing and hearing their reactions on a big screen rather than just a TV. And so that was really gratifying. It was really, really nice to be able to do that and to see it in its entirety and to see and hear people enjoying it. And there's a quick Q&A afterwards.
They asked a lot of questions, so we answered the questions.
And so it was a really, really gratifying experience it sort of overrid the fact that I'm sick of watching this. And I really did enjoy seeing it all the way through, how it finally fits together and people are enjoying it. So I'm
Yeah,
glad.
you guys kind of need a break from each other after working so much with each other. Is it like need some time off from each other?
Well, I'm kind of sick to death of this guy. I mean, geez, you have no idea what a pain in the tuchus he is.
Well,
But
good thing we're going into Shabbos.
yeah, that's right. Well, we do have enough breaks because we don't do a lot of performing together. We just do that occasionally now. So we can enjoy the memories, right? Maybe looking forward to some stuff.
Yeah, it depends. We got some stuff we'd still like to do, but if the opportunity presents itself, we got a couple of other screenplays.
For feature films with Trillo and Suede. But that's, we have to see how this plays out. If this movie is a
I'm
big
sure it's gonna be
success,
great. I think it's hilarious. I mean, I love what you do. It's so cool.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, yeah, I hope you enjoy the whole movie because it's
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
quite unique.
yeah, I
It
think
sounds like it's gonna be my Saturday night, sit with the kids and watch the movie. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's there are worse ways to spend your Saturday nights.
This will be a good way to spend my Saturday night. Well, I know you have some other guests that you brought with you. Would they like to be on the show for a little bit?
Yeah, okay. There's Ezra there. Why don't you? Yeah, bring him over. All right, great to meet you, Yosh.
You too, and keep on being a star. He
uh,
wants all the attention, always.
hey there, it's Yosh.
I am so honored to meet you.
Well, the feeling is almost mutual.
Well, I'm sorry that you're going second, but it doesn't mean anything less of you. I mean, you're just as important.
Don't care. Doesn't matter to me. It's
Well,
all in
can
the
you
day's
tell us a
work.
little bit about yourself? Of how you got into the business, how you became a comedian, how you met this guy, how you met Jonathan?
Yeah. Well, I was carved out of the wood. My mommy and daddy are in an oak forest. What didn't you find me someplace? Well, different story than that, but he was carved. He's got that much, right? Carved out of wood. Yes, sir. Okay. So that's my lineage, my family tree, so to speak. So he's a character that is really inspired by Harpo Marx. You know who that is, Yoch?
I don't.
Well, he doesn't know that because he's too young. He's a younger generation. Yes, he
I
is.
just turned 43 the other day. I'm not, I guess I'm
Yeah,
not
but
that young.
compared to this alter cocker next to me, or just a kid. So Harpo Marx is one of the Marx brothers. They're the greatest comedians of all time, in my personal opinion. My opinion too. Marx brothers, they made a total of 13 movies starting in 1928 or 29, going up to 1940 something. Their movies were really great. Those characters were great, and Harpo is my personal favorite of the Marx brothers. So that was the inspiration for creating me.
And
Yeah.
when did you guys meet? How long ago did you?
Well, very early in my career. When did you start? It was a long time ago. Yeah, wow, it was almost 40 years ago. So it was, and then maybe 39 years ago, I saw him in a magic shop. Sometimes they sell ventriloquist dummies. And so I just loved the character. I saw it looked like Harpo, and I love Harpo. So I bought him, developed a character with him. But I'm not the original one, right? No, that was a different one. Then I wanted him made a little bit differently, a little bit more solidly. So I hired a ventriloquist puppet maker, builder named Brant Gilmer. Lives in Cleveland, Ohio. That's right. And he built this Ezra for me. So yeah. So,
Ezra, I don't want to say this out loud because I don't want to make anyone jealous, but are you Jonathan's favorite?
well, I don't know. I mean, I think you're intelligent enough to make me the favorite in your mind. What do you think? Well, I always feel whichever puppet I happen to be talking to at the time is my favorite. He's trying to be tactful about that. So I always feel like it's kind of when you ask parents, who's your favorite child, so it's hard. Oh, some do have that. Yeah, some parents do have favorites, but you try not to, right? As a parent, you try not to
Of
have favorites.
course, yeah.
You try to feel equal love for every child.
I know you take the lead, but how do you decide on the voices that you have for the puppets, the dummies?
I just thought about what kind of voice would fit for Jonathan, and I give him the voice that feels the most fitting. Yeah, you do that? Yes, sir. You didn't realize that. That could be a very upsetting revelation to him. So
Ezra, do you ever want to change Jonathan's voice and give him a new voice? Kind of like he gives you your voice?
oh, just to be funny sometimes. But I think the voice that I've come up for him right now, this voice, the one you got now, yes, you see that's it. I think that fits. So I think I got the right fit. You look at him and yeah, that's what it sounds right. But if you talk different, it would be kind of funny, but it would be disturbing after a little bit.
I've seen your videos. He's a big part of your act.
Yeah.
So I just want let's say you're doing the act now. How do you introduce Ezra?
How do I introduce him? Well, just very simply. I don't make a big deal out of introductions. I say, and now, ladies and gentlemen, clap your hands for Ezra. You can't get more basic than that. It's very simple. But gets right to the point because Jonathan knows that by that time in the show, I'm itching to come out and meet everybody. But let's get right down to the point, right?
Ezra, when you're not performing, do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, I like to go fishing. Like to go fishing, right? What kind of fish? Gefilte fish. I had somebody helping me who was helping you. Yosh. Yeah, he's great at
I would.
catching
By the way, my son, my 12-year-old loves fishing. By the way, he caught like 5 fish the other day. If you're open to it, we'd love to go fishing with you one day.
Well, sure, as long as we go to a lake where we can catch some delicious gefilte fish. Well,
Do you
no
prefer to
content.
go on a boat, or you want to just be on land? What's your preference? Are you a water person?
As long as I'm inside the boat, I try to avoid falling into the water because, because I'm made out of wood, so my toes would work.
John, I want to. We could get into a lot of humor, obviously, but I want to ask you. It must be such an amazing feeling that you put so many smiles on people's face. I know people have a lot of gifts, but in all honesty, the gift of putting smiles on kids' faces and even adults' faces, you must get so much joy out of that because you can literally stand on a stage at any moment and just people look at you and they smile and they laugh. I mean, it's really amazing what you do.
Yeah, it is very gratifying. Sometimes I have to stop and remind myself, and it's good when I get reminders from people like you that, like, hey, just think about how lucky you are that I was able to make a career out of something like this that I enjoy so much. I have a passion for doing, and that I can bring some joy to other people, especially kids, right? Yeah, I do most of my shows for kids and families. I decided early on in my career that I want to focus on that. So I've never done a lot of adult shows. I do adult shows, but
Yeah.
I'm much more known for kid and family shows.
I mean, what kind of questions do kids tend to ask you? I mean, I hear this question all the time, but like it doesn't get old because like it just makes you so happy, and it makes the kids so happy asking you.
Yeah, a lot of the kids they want to know who makes me talk because they
And what do you
don't.
tell them?
Well, if they ask me, I give a different answer than Jonathan would give. What do you differentiate the answers? Well, Jonathan says that he makes all the puppets talk. He's throwing his voice. And if they ask you directly, what do you say? I say that I make Jonathan talk. I throw my voice.
I'm going with that. I think you make Jonathan talk. That's really what I'm
Yeah,
leaning towards.
I think that makes sense.
But Jonathan, do you visit, places, like I guess like hospitals and places? I mean, anytime you go to a place like that, I mean, to make a kid smile it could be so therapeutic. Are there places that you visit?
I have done that. Yeah, I don't do it regularly. That's there's something that is sometimes difficult to do because you can't just like walk into a hospital and say I want to entertain the kids or something like that. There's all kinds of the protocol in like they have these official stuff you got to go through. It could be very difficult process, unfortunately. So, but I have done that, and I've done shows at hospitals
That's
and
amazing. I love
nursing
that.
homes and camps. There are a few camps for kids with chronic illnesses. Camp Simcha.
Yeah, of course I know Camp Simcha. Oh my god, that's awesome. They must be so happy when you show up.
How many times did we do shows there? I kind of lost count. You know, I don't know either, but we've done many, like more than a dozen shows up there for them.
Do kids like look at you and like how is he doing that? Like they try to like understand like what's going on. Like
A
they
lot of
try to
times they
find out
don't
the
believe it.
tricks.
Yeah, I told you the answer that I usually give and that Jonathan gives, but they don't buy it a lot of times. There's a radio or something. Or there's a secret recording that you're using. It's kinda yeah, that's okay. But if they want to believe that, as long as they enjoy it that's right. But we do a lot of times they don't believe that my answer when I say that I'm doing the voice.
What is some negative feedback that, if any, that ventriloquists might get sometimes?
I know there's some people who just have an aversion to it. Sometimes they're scared of the puppets. That's like this, especially the ugly puppets like Jonathan. They look at him, they go, "Oh my God, I don't want to look at that." But it's true that there's some people who really have an aversion. They hate puppets, especially ventriloquist puppets. I think because there's an association with ventriloquists being crazy and the dummy being dangerous. The dummy killers. Like they had the Chucky series of crazy. He wasn't a ventriloquist puppet, but puppet comes to life and is evil. And so I think people seeing movies like that, then they get terrified. They're
Get quite the impressive puppet when you see Chucky. I definitely understand that. I had a Chucky doll for about, I think, 10 years, and it kept on slowly falling apart. My wife's like, "You gotta get rid of this." But as sick as it sounds, I wanted to hold on to it. I loved my Chucky doll.
yeah.
And it's
Well, it
quite
didn't
this.
traumatize you because for a lot of people, then it traumatizes them about puppets. Not for you, huh? You were okay with it.
I was a Chucky fan, as crazy as that's. I didn't think it was scary. I don't get really scared of scary movies. I kind of get a kick out of them. Chucky was just like, it's just a puppet, type of thing. I don't know. I loved my Chucky doll, but now he's no longer with us, unfortunately.
I hope you were able to give it a proper funeral.
Well, yeah. Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. I did. I had a lot of respect for Chucky.
With the
Yes,
Levaya,
yes.
Levaya, you're right, using the Hebrew word for funeral.
So, Jonathan, I wanted to ask, as far as family and friend, do they ever ask you when you're sitting together at the table, bring the puppets out? Does it become of like a part of your lifestyle even outside of doing movies and shows?
For my immediate family growing up, no. I have 2 daughters. They're grown now in their 20s on their own, um, growing up, they were so used to it that it wasn't special to them anymore. It's like they came to lots of my shows, and then I kibitzed with them when they were little girls at home with the puppets too. But they grew up feeling they're real. At some point, they understood they're not real, but when they're very little, they thought that these puppets are real.
Wait, so you're not an embarrassing dad? Oh my God, that's lucky you.
No, they really, they enjoyed it and they loved going to my shows when they were little. When they got a little older, like, I don't know, what do you think? Adolescence, even before that, pre-adolescence, they started to become less interested, and then, yeah, maybe as teenagers, then they lost interest. Then it was just like, yeah, my dad's ventriloquist. But I don't think they were ever embarrassed. What do you think? Or am I deluding myself? No, I gotta hand it to Jonathan. That's yeah, they weren't embarrassed. I think they thought it was pretty cool. They just weren't so interested anymore. I think that kind of sums it up. When they became teenagers, they weren't interested in going to their dad's shows anymore. Seen some more, but I think they always thought
Do
it's a
you
cool
think
thing.
this made you a better dad? Having a gift like this, I feel like it makes fatherhood like a little more exciting. It's a gift as a dad.
I would like to believe that. I do believe that. Well, I think so. It certainly added a certain something to the atmosphere growing up at home for the girls. I mean, it doesn't cure all the issues or something that growing up inevitably gives you, but it could help. Yeah, I think that's true. You know, everybody goes through the life stages and it all brings challenges, but I think, yes, that to be honest, it is a good thing on balance. It's, was nice, at least in that respect, for the girls that they had this kind of fun thing going on at home too. They've expressed to me at times that they thought it was cool that they'd meet other kids and their dads do the usual stuff, kind of usual jobs. And I think, oh, my dad does something different, So
I like to be different. And like I said, if you have a job, you come home and feel like you put smiles on people's face. You don't feel like it's a chore. Like it's almost like the dream job. Like you have the dream job in your mind, and that makes coming home. I would feel easier.
yeah, I think so. Was that advantage to it? Mrs. Levinsky, she also appears in The Dummy Detective. So let's meet
I
her.
would
What do you
love
say?
to meet her, Ezra. Thank you so much for coming on. It's such an honor to meet you,
And the feeling is very
and we'll
weak.
go out and get some gefilte fish one day.
That's a good idea. See you soon. So now we have Mrs. Levinsky, Sarah Levinsky.
Oh, it's such an honor to meet you.
So,
Well,
Yosh,
please tell me a little about yourself. I want to hear. I want to hear who you are.
I'm Sarah Levinsky, and I'm the star of the show.
Which show?
Any show. We do shows together, and sometimes, and I'm in a movie. Did you hear about the new movie?
I
Yeah,
did.
about that.
Yeah, it's called The Dummy Detective. It's a good movie. You
And
should
then,
see the
and
movie.
what kind of role do you play in the movie?
Well, I'll tell you what I should have played.
You should have
Okay.
played what?
The femme fatale.
The femme fatale?
Yeah.
But a femme fatale is a sexy lady.
So,
So
So I,
you wanted some romantic scenes. Is that what you're looking for?
well, that would have sold the movie much better.
it would have sold the movie.
That's the only thing lacking in the movie, that I wasn't a femme fatale.
Do
Other than
you
that, it's a good movie.
Are you married? Do you have a husband or a boyfriend? Or
No, I don't got no husband. I used to, but no more.
Yeah, He passed, but so now we can still maybe find a shidduch for you.
Sure, that's a good idea.
Maybe one of those dating apps. Would that work for you?
I like the personal touch.
A personal touch.
Yeah, Yosh, can you be a shadchan?
Yeah, I'm sure, but I'll have a million guys knocking on my door once I post a picture of you. So I don't know if I could handle that in my house.
Yeah, they're not gonna be able to control themselves
I
when when they see what I look like.
Well, and you're a star. I mean, who would not want to go out with a celebrity?
Of course, I'm a star, and I talk Yiddish, and I also can cook gefilte fish, and also look at my profile.
What's your favorite dish to cook?
Well, yeah, I told you gefilte fish.
Do you put hot dogs in your cholent?
No, I don't believe in hot dogs, but wurst. He's so ignorant. Wurst is not the hot dogs. It's a sausage.
Are you a kugel fan? Potato kugel?
Oh, sure, kugel. I do really good kugel. You gotta come over sometime. Yosh, I'm gonna cook you kugel.
I would love to. I actually like kugel. I love cholent. I do sometimes put hot dogs in my cholent because my kids like hot dogs, but we don't have to put in your cholent.
No, not in my cholent. Cholent, you get wurst.
Or she insists on calling it wurst because it's different style of sausage.
Yeah, not a hot dog. Oh,
Well,
yeah, so chas v'chalila when it comes to...
is a way of saying God forbid.
God, that's right. Who is the actor that you thought were that really made your heart beat growing up?
Well,
Was there any celebrity? Huh?
Humphrey Bogart.
Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah, Humphrey Bogart.
He would have been lucky to have you.
Absolutely. He would have been in heaven.
I want to ask you, how do you enjoy acting?
Of course, I think that was my calling, but I didn't do it enough.
Yeah, okay. So you're just trying to make up for it now.
Yeah, now I'm trying to do more acting because I think it was always my calling. I should have been a star, but now I'm going to become a star with this movie, with the Dummy Detective. So you
Are
got to...
you ready for all the sponsorships and all the celebrity status that you're going to have, and possibly, put it on be on the Walk of Fame? Is that something that you can handle? It sounds like a lot.
Maybe I'm going to have to get some bodyguards and stuff like that. But for now, it's okay. So this is a good time. You can send me a message before I get too famous. Maybe I'll answer you.
I wanted to ask you, what was your favorite part about the Dummy Detective? What was the reason that you're so passionate about it?
I think that was my dream come true because this is my opportunity to show everybody all the talent I got as an actress. So now they can see for themselves. And now I'm gonna go take a nap. Okay, so Yosh, I'm
It
gonna
was a pleasure meeting you. Have a great Shabbos.
you too. Okay, till later. See you later.
I can't wait to have a Shabbos with you and enjoy your cooking. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Your answer about the Dumb Detective, it sounds like it was a dream of yours. And what's the best part of doing it besides, it's a dream come true? I mean, is it because you got to do something that you always wanted to do? You got to show everyone what you do for a living, what you're passionate about.
I think because this is the biggest production of my dream to date, because I've done two short movies I mentioned before. One was called Oxford Park. I shot that in 2005 in England, and then that's a 15-minute movie, so a short film. Then uh, in 2022, so much more recently, I shot Casa Noir, which is a 23-minute film, which is based in New York. And that is a parody of Casablanca, parody and tribute to Casablanca, the famous 1942 classic, iconic movie starring Humphrey Bogart. You come to speak of it. And so that's my own take on it. These are all Trillo and Suede productions, meaning the detective duo of Trillo and his wooden partner, Suede. Suede, you met earlier, is just chilling out over there right now. But to answer your question, I did those, and I did 2 seasons of all self-funded web series, the Trillo and Suede web series. So you can watch all 20 episodes. You can also watch Casa Noir, and you can watch Oxford Park. All of these Trillo and Suede productions on the Dummy Detective YouTube channel. So that's all
Amazing.
free for you guys to watch. And the feature film now is The Dummy Detective. And so that is the grandest permutation of my dream of this alternate universe, the Trillo and Suede, neo-noir kind of universe that I created with the characters I created. So it's on a bigger scale. So it's more satisfying. I was able to do something of real substance, being the the feature film. I have a couple more. If I ever get the opportunity, I'd love to shoot a couple more of these feature films for which I've already written screenplays, and I've also written episodes for a TV series. So that's something I don't know if I'll ever get the chance to do that, but that's there, available, ready if the opportunity presents. Netflix, if you're listening, a Netflix TV series, I think would be great. Us featuring Trullo and
I
Swade. Or
agree.
Hulu, not to leave out Hulu, could be Hulu, or it could be Amazon Prime or Showtime, VO Max. Any of you guys out there, hit
We've
me up.
already done so much, so I don't doubt it. I mean, sky's the limit.
Yeah,
Well, I wanted to see if you want to pick one of your dummies to get on for one more little bit of fun rapid fire questions.
yeah. Okay, I guess we'll bring back Swade, Sam Swade. Yeah.
Sam, I'm sorry for interrupting your nap. I apologize.
We got his fedora. I want to be fedoraless here.
Sam, if it's okay, I want to have a little bit of fun with you. I know you take things very seriously, but maybe we could see your fun side just for a couple questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah, shoot.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you quick, just whatever pops into your mind. Don't ask Jonathan for answers. This is all about you. Number one, favorite movie growing up.
Favorite movie, Wizard of Oz.
Okay, I love that. Favorite detective of all time.
Humphrey Bogart in
Okay.
Maltese Falcon.
Maltese Falcon, classic, 1941.
Who is your favorite dummy of all time, or even one that's right now that's performing?
Jerry Mahoney.
Jerry Mahoney, the sidekick of Paul Winchell.
You got it.
Awesome. Okay, coffee or tea?
Green tea. Green tea.
That surprises me. I thought you're more of a coffee guy.
I kind of thought that too.
Green tea because the health benefits.
Okay, health
If
benefits.
you'd have one sidekick besides Jonathan, who would it be?
One sidekick would be Humphrey Bogart from
Okay.
Maltese Falcon.
Is there one actor that you'd like to work with next, now that you're a star?
Well, Tom Hanks.
Okay. If you had one word your friends would use to describe you, what would it be?
Awesome.
I knew you were going to say that. Well, Sam, Jonathan, thank you so, and all your other friends, thank you so much for being a part of LivingYosh, and really the passion that you have, the joy that you have, the joy you bring to other people. I look up to it so much. It's so motivational. And I think when you have a gift such as yours and you use it, especially to help other people, that's what it's all about. And I hope that people take time to see The Dummy Detective. So thank you so much for being here. Once again, I'm going to post every way you could find Dummy Detective, everything about Jonathan and Sam. I hope to have you guys here again. I hope to have some gefilte fish. I hope to go fishing. I hope to maybe be a part of Dummy Detective 2.
Yeah, that would be very cool. Yeah, judging by the background you have over there.
I would love to. I would love to. Maybe you'd have a scene of a podcast host. Who knows?
Yeah, that would be really nice. I think that would fit. Yeah.
Jonathan, thank you again for being here. It really meant a lot to me, and keep doing what you're doing, because there's nothing more special you could do than bring joy to people's faces.
Thank you. Our pleasure. Really enjoyed this conversation.
And then make sure to go to the dummydetectivemovie.com.
That's for all the links to
Yes.
all the channels where you can watch the movie, and also our social media, all that stuff. The dummydetectivemovie.com.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Take care.